All right, thanks. So yeah, Digna and I are going to tag team this. I'm going to start by talking about the Precision Therapeutics Academy that we have as part of Vice MPRINT. And so this is a figure we don't really use anymore, but when we sort of first pitched our center, you can see that we have the two clinical projects supported by the Phenotyping Support Core, the admin course that oversees everything with input from our internal scientific advisory board, as well as the MPRINT Hub Steering Committee. But then at the center of it all, of course, is the Precision Therapeutics Academy. We try to involve junior investigators really in every aspect of what we do. The purpose, as written on the slide here, is really just to support the training and mentorship of junior investigators, which range anywhere from pre-doctoral students to junior faculty in maternal and pediatric disciplines. And since our site is sort of heavily focused on pharmacogenomics and analysis of large electronic data sets, that's sort of our particular areas of focus. And while the MPRINT grant doesn't directly fund the Academy trainees, obviously many of them have taken advantage of our support pool funds, but we do have a number of resources at our institution that some of our Academy trainees have been involved with. So our T32s, or our K12s, or similar programs. The structure of the Academy is essentially that we've required that the trainees work with a Vice MPRINT mentor on a clinical or data science project. And again, that mentor is one of the members of their scholarship oversight committee. And we develop a individualized development plan, really just to make sure that the expectations are clear. The bulk of the work is really the mentored research project. And so we just, when we first meet with potential trainees, we make sure that their clinical responsibilities, actually sort of align with the time they need for performing the research. The trainees, of course, participate in many of the seminars and various meetings that we have, either in their own mentors lab or through MPRINT. And we do have RCR training as part of our institutional office. They sort of handle that for us. So we have all of our trainees do that as well. And then every month, the Vice MPRINT Steering Committee meets, and we invite all the trainees to the steering committee meetings, and they actually typically rotate so that we have a trainee presentation at pretty much every meeting. And those, based on the number of trainees we have and the number of meetings we have, obviously they have more than one opportunity to present. So sometimes it's at the beginning of their project so they can get some feedback on design. And then again, usually once they have some data, just to sort of help them sort of practice a presentation for an external audience. In the very first year, we had just two trainees, Jim Antoon and Liz Jasper from Pediatrics and OB-GYN respectively. And they both enjoyed it so much, they did a second year. And so in year two, we had 4 trainees total. And you can see the titles of their projects are on here. I'm not going to read them off, but this sort of gives you a sense of the type of projects that they're doing. And again, we have even distribution of pediatric and OB-GYN trainees. And then in our current year, year 3, we have Amelie Pham, who joined in year 2. She's doing a second year. We have 3 graduates and then 3 new individuals for year 3. And so again, pretty even split between pediatric and maternal disciplines here. So I believe that's it for my part. So now I'm going to have Digna come on up here, and she's going to talk about one of those other resources that we have at Vanderbilt. This is the, I believe it's pronounced the Birch program. I'm not exactly sure. There's an extra W in there, but here you go. Thanks.
Okay, so Prince mentioned that our recruitment pool for the Precision Therapeutics Academy are existing training grants. And so the training grants we've tapped into from our at least initial experiences have been our KL2 program that's part of our CTSA, as well as our Birch K-12 program. I'm one of the PIs for our Birch site, as well as one of the program directors. I was going to talk a little bit about it and what we do and why it's been a nice complement to the kinds of research going on through MPRINT. But for those not familiar with Birch, it's the Building Interdisciplinary Research Careers in Women's Health K-12 program. So it's an institutional funded K where investigators are early career faculty who are interested in research careers in women's health and sex and gender research. And I also note, I am also involved in directing our IMSD program. So our Initiative for Maximizing Student Development, T32, that focuses on providing mentorship and resource pipelines for underrepresented graduate students. And we've attempted and done some integrating of students from those programs as well into the PTA, as far as providing some mentorship on projects. So for those not familiar with Birch, it supports research career development for junior faculty who recently completed clinical training, research training, or postdoctoral fellowships, who do basic translational research, clinical research, population-based or health service research, and have a specific interest in gender biology and women's health. 75 to 80% of protective time is provided for them, and about a nice pocket of money for them to lead some research projects of about $25,000. We have 3 funded slots and 2 institutional funded slots that are matched by our CTSA. So we are able to fund 5 Birch slots per year. And we have a model that we've done. So I recently took over as PI in this latest iteration of funding, but this grant's been going on for over 20 years at Vanderbilt. And our model is the PIs and the program directors are former Birch alum. So we have this process of giving back to the program and engaging alum in both the mentor training and advice giving that we do as part of our regular works in progress, which is a nice network. I think if you've ever gone to a Birch meeting, Birch alum really love to give back to this community, which is one of the aspects I really enjoyed as a Birch alum. And to be eligible for the program, you have to have a PhD or clinical doctorate, completed any postgraduate training expected for a faculty appointment, must be U.S. citizen, non-citizen, nationals, or been lawfully admitted for permanent residence. Birch is funded nationwide. These are all the Birch sites in the U.S. So it's been going on for quite a bit. It's originally developed and envisioned by the Office of Research in Women's Health. I think it was previously managed by NICHD, and now another institute has taken over in managing it. And our model at Vanderbilt to mentoring and really developing our Birch K-12 scholars is really building community, guiding them to resources. We have a lot of resources at Vanderbilt. A lot of it is through the infrastructure of our CTSA that guides a lot of early career investigator resources and pipelines. So part of what we do is make sure that they know those are available and are using them, and really develop accountability for their development. So we also create a safe environment to ask questions and learn, develop accountability, time management skills. So we do a regular works in progress where we meet with each scholar as a group, and we have them present, what are your goals for the year? What are your timelines? What do we need to achieve that submission, get that paper published, all of those types of things that we think they need to be able to transition to their independent K awards. We engage as observers in their mentor committees, so to be advocates and support them to make sure other things are being considered beyond just their research as far as their development. And as I mentioned, we as a Birch community try to give back in our mentorship to other investigators who do similar kinds of research. And we have a set of required activities listed here. One that I think everybody always asks, how do you get your Birch scholars to go every week? We require it, so it's part of their contract. They have to go every week. We meet, we go over various aspects, so they have to sign up. We review summary statements, we edit manuscripts. We do group edits of grant materials. This kind of hands-on approach, I think, is really good at fostering, independence, learning the skills that they need to eventually transition to their independent grant awards. We also guide them to resources. So we have mock study section, grant pacing workshops at Vanderbilt, career development, seminar series, that's all kind of institutionally supported. They also attend national meetings so that they get to meet investigators at other network sites, meet POs, and just generally network. And we've been able to engage our PTA fellows from Birch K-12. So Elizabeth Jasper and Megan Shuey are also part of the Birch K-12 program and are part of the PTA program. Because there's a nice intersection of interest in this kind of research for MPRINT that overlaps with the interest of both our KL2 programs and our K-12 programs at Vanderbilt. And as I mentioned, a lot of us, what we do is to build community. And, these are just kind of some of the kind words that our Birch alum have said about it. But just to highlight, we're really about building collaboration, encouragement, having our scholars feel that they're part of a community. And I think that's been a good success for us because we've had a very good track record of having short-term Birch appointments and quick transitions to independent grant funding. And that's it. Thanks.